Welcome everyone to what is unambiguously the graveyard slot of WorldSkills, but it's great to see so many of you here with us, so thanks for staying and thanks for coming to our session. We meet during a momentous period for the whole Arabic world. The Arab Spring has signalled a yearning amongst the populations of many countries in the region for profound change in the way their societies are run. The revolutions in the Arab world have a lot of causes, but a central reason is the lack of opportunity, particularly for young people, to improve and have control over their lives. The desire for skills, employability, and the chance to have a fulfilling and productive future is an essential force behind the revolutions across the Arab world, revolutions that are particularly driven by the young. How this year's events play out is yet to be determined, but the revolutions have promised the chance of a better future and have brought the issues of youth opportunity, skills, and employability centre stage. Any incoming administration will realise that to be credible, they will have to make serious inroads to tackling these issues and to addressing the profound and multifaceted skills-related challenges that their countries face. While we should of course acknowledge that there are great variations within the region, by way of context setting, I think we can identify some of the most important challenges relevant to the majority of the Arabic world. And I'd like to briefly highlight 5 of these. At the heart, of course, are demographics. 60% of the Arab world is under the age of 30. The median age in Egypt, for example, is 24. In the UK, it's 40. They have the biggest youth population in the world. Over the next years, tens of millions of young people will enter the labour force in the region, and they'll need jobs, either in their own countries or through regional labour mobility. Now, accomplishing this in itself is a monumental task, but it's made even more profound by a second challenge, and that is the current levels of youth unemployment in the Arab world. Again, the highest anywhere. Up to 50% of the youth population in some Arab countries is not engaged in employment. The estimate of tens of millions of new jobs necessary over the next 10 years for young people entering the workforce is predicated on no fall in this dangerously high unemployment rate. If that rate is to fall significantly, millions of further jobs will need to be created. Of course, it's not just a question of creating jobs, but of skilling up the workforce and future workforce to be able to do these jobs. And that's where we find other key challenges. Challenge number 3, and one which has a resonance far beyond the Arab world, concerns the low status of skills. Skills education in the Arab world is generally considered to be inferior to higher education, with parents in particular encouraging their children to aspire to academic routes, often with little consideration as to how appropriate this route is for their children, or how likely their children are to find employment and fulfillment. This parental approach is hardly surprising, given the institutionalization of the low status of skills in schools through the automatic allocation to the skills education system of lower performing students. A great deal needs to be done to facilitate the fundamental cultural and attitudinal shift whereby students actively choose to go down the skills route. Skill jobs are recognised and respected as core to the country's economic future, and skills education attracts students of sufficient ability and in sufficient numbers to empower Arab countries to thrive. This wonderful WorldSkills event constitutes an exemplary way in which a step change in the image of skills can be engendered. One reason for the continuing low status of skills in the Arab world, and again this is something to which we can all relate, is our 4th major challenge: the need for greater alignment between training and the needs of industry, a theme that is core to discussions at WorldSkills this week. This alignment is not just about what industry needs now, but what it will need in the future. And to this end, there's a strong requirement to develop effective approaches as regards labour market intelligence. Related to this is a fifth challenge: the need for recognised standards and quality assurance in skills training, which will ensure that young people get the standard of training they deserve with profound benefits downstream for them and for their country. Some major challenges then, but a region with huge potential if it can address those challenges in the right way and properly nurture and harness the talents of its young, energetic, aspirational populations. One key means of achieving this is through partnership. Every country in the world is facing skills challenges. It's a global issue. And by sharing knowledge, experience, expertise, our understanding of what works and what doesn't work, cooperating for mutual benefit, great things can be achieved. Partnership is core to all of British Council's work. We're a registered charity working in 110 countries worldwide, and our key aims include promoting cultural awareness, understanding, and mutual cooperation, making friends for life for the UK. Our emphasis on partnership is nowhere more apparent than in our skills work in the Arab world. Through our major Skills for Employability programme, we work closely with a range of ministries, agencies, employers, educational institutes to support countries throughout the Arab world in their drive to enhance the skills and employability of their workforces and future workforces. Our Skills for Employability programme works by way of three integrated strands of activity, and in each of these, partnership is central. The first is policy dialogue and development work. This typically involves working with representatives from relevant ministries and other stakeholders, such as employers, educational leaders, and NGOs, in focused events and related follow-up activities designed to facilitate the informed enhancement of skills policy in a range of areas. Our policy dialogue activities have taken place throughout the Arab world and have addressed policy priorities of the specific country and countries involved. These have included employer engagement, quality assurance, national qualifications framework, careers guidance. Regardless of the thematic area, all of our policy dialogue activities are very much output focused, delivering practical recommendations and next steps that can deliver real change. And this emphasis on practical outputs is, I think, a key lesson that we'd emphasize from these types of activity. By way of an example of our policy dialogue work, I'd like to highlight our Building Effective Employer Engagement in Egypt initiative. In spring of last year, in partnership with the European Union TVET reform programme in Egypt, the British Council brought together senior Egyptian, UK and international stakeholders for a major conference in Cairo aimed at enhancing employer engagement. The conference saw Egypt endorse a UK-type model of employer engagement in Egypt and identified concrete recommendations to facilitate a more industry-led approach to skills training. One recommendation concerned the use of international partnerships, and as a direct result of this, the British Council and the EU TVET reform programme have launched an initiative to partner sector skills councils in the UK with their quasi-equivalents called Enterprise Training Partnerships, or ETPs, in Egypt to build the capacity of the ETPs, including in the area of labour market intelligence, and to equip the ETPs to work to better align skills training with employer needs. In this way, policy dialogue delivered by the British Council in concert with its partners can have far-reaching benefits that impact on the lives of millions of young people. The second Skills for Employability strand focuses on international skills development partnerships, such as those between sector skills councils and Egyptian ETPs. These partnerships are usually bilateral between the UK and the partner country, typically last for 2 years, and include employers, training institutions, ministries, agencies, sector skills councils, awarding bodies. As with policy dialogue and development, the skills development partnerships concentrate on priority themes for the country and are very much focused on practical deliverables. They cover a range of sectors, from fashion to automotive, from textiles to construction. The outputs and learning of the partnerships don't just benefit the partner institutions and their staff and students. The work of such partnerships constitutes good practice models that can be rolled out more widely and inform policy dialogue, leading to impact on a national scale. One excellent skills development partnership recently completed was between Scotland and the Palestinian territories and included Anisland College in Glasgow and the Scottish Qualifications Authority, both of whom are represented here today. I'm delighted to say Linda McTavish, the principal of Anisland, is with us, and also Malcolm Chisholm from SQA. The partnership also included colleges from Nablus, Hebron and Ramallah in the Palestinian West Bank. And despite huge logistical issues, this partnership thrived and it delivered personal development training and awards accredited by the SQA for staff of the Palestinian colleges. This work has not just improved the quality of the institutions, but has the potential to be cascaded much more widely. Partnerships also worked with local employers in the West Bank to develop models of employer engagement that were showcased at senior policy dialogue events to help develop national policy in this area. A key lesson from these types of partnerships is the importance of communication, both within the partnership, understanding each other's expectations and shared priorities, roles and responsibilities and so on, but also externally, building relationships with stakeholders, to leverage access to funding, expertise, access to networks that make the partnerships sustainable in the longer term. The third strand within Skills for Employability addresses primarily young people, and it's that of enterprise competitions and awards. These competitions, again, are delivered in partnership, typically with employers, ministries, NGOs, training institutions, and they aim to inspire and showcase entrepreneurship, confidence, soft skills, excellence in young people. The themes of the competitions vary according to the priorities of the country, but often social enterprise is the focus. I'm delighted to say that we are joined today by the winners of just such an award, held in the Palestinian territories. And I'd like to invite representatives from the group to say a few words to you now about their experience.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لقد قمنا بالمشاركة بإنجاز إلى القدوم الجائزة إلى القدوم إلى بريطانيا عن طريق البريتش كونسل. في جائزة كانت لنا في المدرسة في دورة اسمها كن رياديا. التخطيط المسبق كان سبب في إنجاح هذا المشروع، وقد كنا باستفادة منه بناء على روح التعاون بين الأشخاص المشروع الذي كانوا يعملون على التعاون معنا في إنجاز هذا المشروع. عرف كل شخص مدى شخصيته والتمتع بأفكاره ومعرفة مكانه في المشروع، وكان كل شخص قادر على إنجاز العمل، قادر على استطاعه دون الحاجة إلى شخص ثاني، مما أدى إلى تقسيم الأدوار بالطريقة المناسبة بناء حسب تناسب العمل بيننا. وقد قلنا لنا تطلعات مستقبلية للعمل على شركات العمل بنا، وشكرا لكم.
Basically what Muhammad is saying is that through taking part in the Enterprise Award as a scheme and being trained on the entrepreneurship skills, they were able to look at themselves, raise their esteem as students in a stream that would be regarded upon downwards in the community. It enabled them to develop their spirit in working as a team. It enabled them to identify their passion, and they learned how to divide the roles between them according to their own inclinations, what they want to do. And in the end, that division of role, their passion, transpired in them winning the prize. Ala here wants to tell us about his experience in WorldSkills being the prize for their efforts in Palestine.
كان المعرض أهم وأحلى شيء شفته بحياتي. كان في مهارات عالية وقابلية على العمل وفعالية كبيرة كمان. صار في عنا روح تنافس كبيرة. لهيك شفت إنه هالمهارات هاي مو بعيدة عنا. لهيك بتمنى إنه نحصل على شوي من اهتمامكم وساعدونا من خلال فرصكم الكبيرة اللي شفتها خيالية عندكم. شكرا لكم.
The exhibition is really great, and it increased our belief in ourselves and in the competitiveness of our skills in the field. We've been introduced to new technologies, we've been introduced to new ventures, and we want to ask you to look at us and maybe just invest into us to be able to compete in such a level, or even to continue in our education also and gain those world skills to our accreditation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those words. I'd now like to pass over to Melanie Relton, the Regional Skills Manager, who's going to facilitate the next part of this session.
Okay, sorry. Firstly, I'd like to say shukran jazilan to all our young people and their teachers from the Nablus Secondary Industrial School. Thank you very much. You were brilliant. Okay, thank you very much again for everybody staying at the last part of the day of WorldSkills. Neil has done a great job in just talking a bit about the British Council's partnership work with some key people we've got around the table here. We've got loads of experts in the room from the UK and internationally, and what we'd like to do is for people to talk for the next 10 minutes to discuss opportunities that exist currently for international collaboration that addresses the skills challenge that we're all facing in the UK, in the Arab region, or in your region or your country that you're representing today. What we'd like you to do is talk amongst yourselves in a group, but pull out lessons learned through the partnerships you've developed and best practice models. We've got some British Council staff members on the table who are going to take down notes, because the WorldSkills would like to take this work and showcase it as part of some of the findings from this event. And also we would like to take some of this and learn lessons from yourselves. So for the next 10 minutes on your tables, if you could have a discussion, talk to each other and discuss international partnership opportunities, lessons learned, best practice models. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Sorry to tear everyone away. Firstly, thank you very much, and I've seen quite a lot of discussion going on around the table, not just of people sharing best practice, but people sharing contact details as well. Now, I'm going to now ask each group to feed back one best practice example, and I'm going to start with, I'm not going to give people a choice, the table over there, and I'm going to run nimbly with the microphone. Could you say your name, please?
I'm Linda McTavish from Anniesland College in Glasgow, and I work in partnership, and our advice in this forum is that partnership is actually key to success, and that sharing ideas is important, but also appreciating that other countries perhaps have different ways of doing things to what we do here, and they're equally valid. And partnerships understand that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda. Very valid point. Thank you. This table here, who's going to feed back? Oh, go on, Mohammed. Take the mic.
Yeah. I think it's quite similar to what the other table was talking about. And basically, it's more of finding more information about the about the needs of other partners, finding trusted partners, as one of the members said. And I think one of the lessons learned that we've talked about was ensuring that before you go into any partnership, you have to make sure that you know exactly what you're contracted to do, and is it realistic? That so what's needed from you, is it realistic or not? But I think it's a challenge that faces everyone else. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. So trust, understanding, building relationships. Brilliant. Thank you very much. This group? Oh, we don't want another British Council staff member, but a lovely one at that. Hold on.
Thank you. We're learning from the comments already and really want to learn from other tables. Making contact and facilitation is something that we all want to do and enjoy. And I'm very pleased to say that I've been brought to this table with colleagues from South Africa who I've not met before, and we're just going to launch Skills for Employability. So we will learn from your best practice. We know that we're in a similar place between our two countries in terms of having sector skills councils. We know that we are rationalising our qualifications, standardising. We also want to appreciate that there has become a skills accord in South Africa, which is discussed at a national forum and agreed, and targets are set. And there's a funding levy to ensure that training is matched to the labour market. So we're in a very good position to springboard, and we'd love to hear all your ideas.
So another key to partnership is sharing best practice and learning lessons from other regions, countries. Thank you very much. This group, I think you've been nominated by default. Could you say your name, please?
Yes, I'll do my best. Peter Greenwood from the European Training Foundation. So the contribution that we made on this table is to the importance of starting off this process of partnership with a common shared understanding of the needs of the country based on the context of the individual countries. This should be based on a body of evidence that gives some reliable indications of what the priorities are and what the reasonable reform or change activities should be, and that this should be owned by the country and carried out through a participatory exercise, so involving as many national institutions, representatives of government, but also civil society, and that this process in itself would develop the partnership or the network which would be helpful for further work on reform.
Thank you very much, everybody. I think I've got someone's hand up there for one quick point before we move on. I summarise and then hand back to Neil.
Just an idea.
Oh, you throw an idea out. It's on.
There is a common say called that when you spread money it becomes less, but if you spread knowledge it becomes more. What we need actually, we need to spread the skill. We want the skill to be shared by all the nations and all the people of the earth. We need the skillful people who can teach the other people how to be skillful. And this is very vital, really. And in this event, we should learn how to be skillful as the competitors in the booth. This is very important. Thank you.
Well, I think well said, and I'd like to thank everybody. And I think summarising is partnerships are hard work. They require investment. They require a bit of research and understanding. But in the words of Linda, they can produce amazing, innovative, successful legacies, which is what this event is about: skill sharing, skills building, and building young people that are the workforce of the future. Thank you very much, and I'd like to hand you back to Neil.
Thank you, Melanie. And really just to say thanks for your very energetic input. I'd like to thank Melanie for facilitating so well. I'd also like to thank Saad Ala and Mohammed from Nablus, Tony as well. We're going to leave you with a video of some of the work that we're doing. And we will be around, and the Palestinian guys will be around after if you would like to discuss any of the issues that have come up today. Thanks very much.
People are welcome to stay for the video. It's about 5 to 10 minutes. It's really showcasing the work that we've done around enterprise and entrepreneurial skills development. So actually the work we've done in partnership, targeting young people, which we've all seen is the key to this event and to all of our work. So please feel free to stay, take bits of it and then move on, but of course we want you to stay. So I'm going to show my transferable skills by not getting this to work. How do I do full screen?
This program is important for us. It teaches us how to work in a teamwork and work with a group. And then they will tell us how to start our own business and help us to solve some problems.
Helped me very much because it's good experience. You can connect with other students that you never know. Also, you broke the shine that you have before and be confident.
Bring different people from different industries to collaborate, to inspire, prepare young people to think of business challenges, to learn skills that are very important for their future.
Yes, I learned, as I told you, it's to how to communicate with other people, how to share information and how to present it and everything. That's all.
رحت ولقيت ان الكورس بتاعهم بيخدم الحته التعليميه شويه بس بشكل متخصص. بيعلمونا اداره ودراسه جدوى وتسويق وماليات. وخلصنا الكورس، وكان اهم من الكورس المتابعه اللي بعد الكورس. يعني ابتديت مشروعي في 2005. قعدت اشتغلت، كنت بادئه مشروع فردي في البيت. قعدت 3 شهور بشتغل لوحدي وبعرض في السوق. وبعدين فكرت ان انا اكتر العماله شويه، فما كانش ينفع يجوا في البيت، فشغلت الناس من بيوتهم وفضلت شغاله بالطريقه دي سنتين. في الفتره دي هيكون مصنعي ان شاء الله نطاق التوظيف فيه زاد. بدل ما انا بشغل 12 واحد دلوقتي، فانا هشغل 40 و50 واحد. ومن ناحيه تانية الناس اللي انا بعلمهم كل حد فيهم هيعمل مشروع وهيوظف ناس معاه. فاحنا كده يعني دورنا في ظروف البلد بتمر بيها ان احنا دلوقتي هنقوم الصناعه في مصر.
عايزه اقول لكل شاب حابب يبدا مشروعه ان هو لازم يكون قلبه جامد، ما يستناش، لان الفرصه بتيجي مره واحده. وحتى لو الفرصه ما جاتش هو يحاول ان هي تيجي. فكره ان يكون الواحد صاحب مشروع خدمه لنفسه وخدمه للمجتمع بتاعه وخدمه للناس اللي حواليه. احساس جميل ان انت تكون سبب في رزق او في فتح بيوت كتير ناس تانية. مهما قابلت من صعاب ده لازم، بس المهم اني اكمل واستفيد من الاخطاء اللي حصلت لي. وده اللي حصل لي مع انطلاقه بمشورتهم، كانوا في ظهري جامد جدا. والحمد لله دلوقتي المشروع محقق نجاح كبير على الرغم ان احنا فاتحينه من فتره صغيره. واتمنى ان الناس تيجي تزوره.
Patient, and that for us has showcased what you can do in partnership. Have a good afternoon. Bye.